Hey everybody, just a little bonus video here. So I decided that since people who follow the FigFed news and whatnot probably want to know what the rosters are, I was originally going to do like just a slideshow roster, and I thought, why not just show you what we're working with here? So some of these were done by me, some of these I found on eBay or got through customizers, and some of these are just natural ultimates, just factory made. Obviously, factory made. Doink the Clown is in the WWF. This is the WWF roster, by the way. So Doink the Clown definitely going to be in there. You're thinking, well, why'd you open him up? I have 3 of these. So that's why. I have 2 more still in box. Starting with, just Zeus. So, again, I'm not going to spend too much time with these ones because you can buy these ones. They're not anything special. Chase, Razor Ramon. I know Scott Hall and Kevin Nash are coming out, but there's Razor Ramon. This is the WWF roster, kind of roughly from like the early 90s to like 95, 96-ish, kind of tapering off right there at that point. Of course, some people are from other attires as well. Like, for instance, the WWF World Heavyweight Champion right now is the Ultimate Warrior, but it's the WCW attire. Fun fact, apparently he was supposed to come back to the WWF. We wasn't supposed to, he was offered to come back, and he decided to hold out for more money. So, sorry, I should not put that out there. Vince, I guess, really needed him for some reason. He figured, the product was hurting. So, but he turned it down and got a much bigger deal with the WCW. I like this one, especially the butterfly joints. When that came out, I had to snag one of these. Of course, since then, I've used a few of his bodies to build other people, and you'll see that soon. Not from this one, though. I've used the Elite 15, or Ultimate 15 set. So, I'm just showing you the ones. Obviously, Diesel. Standard guys. Guys that are, you can buy. Target exclusive Brett, which I will update to the new Monday Night Wars one when it does show up. And when it's affordable and findable and it's released. So for now, he's there. Then, of course, Hogan, which, we didn't get the WCW version. So this is the closest thing we kind of got to like that early 90, 93, 92 kind of look to him. So I put him in there instead of the Golden Era Wrestling, even though he was more Golden Era. Just because with the Piper coming, I didn't want to keep filling the GEW roster more than the WWF roster. So, looking through this real quick here. And so, I didn't build this one. I was going to build this one. Someone beat me to it. And I was like, alright, sure, I'll pay for it. So, I did. Virgil. Ultimate Virgil. Obviously, they used a Zeus or probably Mr. T torso. And they used the parts. You can see that because the torso is not, Virgil's, there's no Virgil on it. That's the one downside you get to the situation is you don't get the Virgil. But that's okay. It still works. So I'll start with the $1 Million Team first. So if you're going to have Virgil, you've got to have the $1 Million Man. He's currently the tag champion. I had another one of him at one point. I actually did not like the miscoloration in the body. And I actually sent away. It was also a lot bulkier and bigger. Yeah, there's chest hair missing. But then again, the standard Elite figure also came with no chest hair. So Austin torso, lower $1 Million Man stuff. No toe articulation, which I could throw on there. I do have some boots that match that. However, I sent the other rendition of this, because it's a little bit bulkier and bigger, I sent that off to be turned into a Shane Douglas Ultimate from a great customizer, Mike Ruff, who's going to be working on that one for me as well. Got a lot of stuff coming from him in the future. So I decided to add in Ted. So you got Virgil, you got Ted. Why not IRS? Now I know what you're thinking. The shirt's way too long. I may have to shorten it up a little bit. I may even shorten it and then glue it to keep it in there. He's missing the tie right now. It's hard to find any type of ties that I'm aware of unless someone knows where you can find action figure accessories for 6-inch figures. I've been only find ones for 12-inch figures. That makes the tie go way down here and look awkward. So he's Ultimate butterfly joints. I do believe with this one I actually used a John Cena I had a John Cena figure. I was going to originally use it for a Ryback, and then when I got it, I realized that the shorts, he has the shorts underneath. If you have to peek at it here, you can kind of, I'm going to move this up a little bit, you can see he still has the shorts right there. So that immediately shot this plan in the foot. I should have probably just used the Austin torso for it, but I mean, it does work for him really well. I obviously took the suspenders, since they're removable, threw them on this one. Originally, he just had a white t-shirt that had to cut the sleeves because it was too tight on the arms. So I found this outfit, and it works for the most part, except for the untucked version. So I mean, I guess I could try to maybe glue it up a little bit, tuck it in a little bit more. But the reality is, when he wrestled, I mean, it came loose. So it wasn't like it was always perfectly clean. So IRS, $1 Million Man, Virgil. I'd love to get a Nikolai Volkov, but currently no plans yet for that. There's some thinking. There's some, wheels are spinning as if I can make that possible. I already showed you how to do this and what's the formula, but Tatanka. Now I know it's not his heel Tatanka look, but it's still Tatanka. Ultimate Edition Tatanka. So the roster is almost 12 members deep right now. We still got quite a few more to go. I didn't build this one. I probably would have built this one, given that I've gotten better at doing this stuff. But for the time being, I helped out a good customizer, kind of like me, Frankensteining, because he doesn't add any paint to anything. He just basically puts body parts to body parts. And he decided to build the rockers, and I only needed one, so Sean's still for sale out there. But here's Marty Jannetty. Little bit of crevice back here, but you can't really notice it too well. There's a little bit of a stretch mark from here. He does a really good job really pressing these together, holding them for a long time. And apparently that's one of the reasons he has bad hands nowadays, because he really applies the pressure to these. Whereas mine, I do apply the pressure. A lot of times I try to really sync them up and make sure they're going to fit properly. Only a few have ever had a slit where it's a little bigger than it's really noticeable. And those are my earlier styles. But he definitely does a good job with these. Of course, you can find his set of rockers. You can find a set of other figures. He does usually get the good parts and put them together. And need a Marty Jannetty for the WWF Fed. Now, he also built me this one. Well, he didn't build it for me. He just built this one. And aside from the head being a little wobbly, Bob Backlund. His prices, of course, will range. The Frankenstein, like me, his stuff usually goes about, upwards of 100, sometimes 150 for certain guys. Sometimes some guys can be a lot. Now you're going to see an expensive set here shortly. But I understand why he does it. Now looking at it, I probably could have done it myself, but he still does stuff that I haven't done yet. I have not yet to swap the torso. I'm going to try that, though. I'm going to try to swap the abdomen on some of these as well, see if I get some new looks to them, if they fit really well. Now, the next one he built, really happy with it, and he used, obviously, a Brock Lesnar torso for this thing entirely, but Warlord. Built the Warlord. I wish that Mattel would release a Barbarian so I could then go and dissect it and turn it into a Ultimate Barbarian. So you have Warlord and Barbarian, but this is a singles hit run. He did, and this was not the same guy too. This is a different guy who actually did this one. He did a really good job with this, and seeing how big it is, I almost wonder if I could use a Brock Lesnar torso for Nikolai Volkov, because I didn't realize that his torso is massive. I should have realized that. I didn't realize that now. So I'm going to start hunting for some Brock Lesnar's pretty soon. Obviously, when you do that, you got to use, you can see the acetoned off the tattoos. It's a little more shinier in the back here. Not so much in the front. He did. My guess is he found maybe the current Brock Lesnar flashback and didn't use the standard Brock Lesnar, because I don't see any real shininess to this compared to the back. But again, you can't notice it from afar. It looks great. Definitely probably going to be what's going to be formula for the Nikolai Volkov now that I look at this one in greater detail. This one I was going to do myself, but he already did it, and It did spark my interest in starting to figure these out how to do it myself, because the cost started to get up there. But I was constantly trying to bug Steve, trying to get a hold of Mattel, going, hey, what about some more Mattel Creation figures? Like, what about an Ultimate, like, option, this and that? Why not, focus on building some other guys, not just the same, like, 10 guys? So the current reigning Intercontinental Champion, Mr. Perfect, Ultimate Edition. And because the torso is a little bit bigger, I think, than the Elite, it fits a lot better on this figure. And yes, he can do the perfect plex. Yes, he's got his neck snapping technique. The Ultimates, just with butterfly joints, are so much better. Obviously, if you're not careful with your customs, it's. I always ask for posability, or at least light play, careful play, if you will. If you're a kid who just bangs your figures together, get basics. Get basics, get stuff that you're not going to regret, breaking, because these are a little more fragile. Yeah, you can still have matches with them. Yeah, sometimes I still do pose stuff and still have matches, like, just for the heck of it, do Royal Rumbles here and there, just to kind of get it, it's nostalgic. I enjoyed doing it when I was a kid, and I still enjoy it. But you got Mr. Perfect in the WWF roster as the Intercontinental Champion right now. Fun fact, he beat Bret Hart to be crowned the champion. So who knows how long his reign will go for. Then, what kind of started really kicking me in high gear, this is from the other customizer, the one that does a really good job. And I had these figures in Elite form. I ended up selling them off to kind of coop the loss of how much it cost me to buy these ones. And I don't think I broke even. But I'm happy I got them. LOD. Legion of Doom. Hawk and Animal. I've seen, and of course, you can see with this one here a little bit, he did not use, whose torso did he use? I don't think he used Brock Lesnar's torso. This is way too tanned. So I'm not sure what torso he used, but you can see a little bit of a gappage there. Now, I would learn later on that, I built a Junkyard Dog and kind of the same problem. Only recently I figured out a way to solve that problem going forward, hopefully. Of course, it would be hard with a guy like this, because you can't really snap the crotch piece in two and then reapply it to a smaller, tighter fit, because they have decal on both sides. So can't do it with that one, but it's still a great great figure. Hawk, of course, you could probably easily, I feel like this is definitely more of a Hawk torso. He was jacked at one point. It's more their 92 run look. Compared to their, heading out the door look. These guys were always really jacked. And Hawk was way more defined than Animal, so it worked perfectly. I acquired one originally, and I liked it, but I didn't like the proper scheme of it. I felt like it was not the iconic one I was looking for. So I did find another one. Yes, sans no chest hair, which, he did have chest hair at times, he didn't have chest hair at times, but Psycho Sid. Now, I switched the legs personally and made sure to have the white tape. I found these. This came with the Psycho Sid SummerSlam figure, because the original Elite 47 did not have the white to it. This is more of his WrestleMania 13 main event look. Also his Survivor Series 96 world title win look. The head is, of course, from his SummerSlam figure. But I remember getting the proper arms with the proper wrist tape. The other one had black wrist tape. In fact, I think it's still... No, it got sold. I have another one right now, just a makeshift one up there as well. But this was great. I like this one. The only downside is one of his knee pads did break a little bit. I probably will replace that in the future. Originally, I had Shawn Michaels in this brand as well. His 97 Royal Rumble attire look, just so he could face Sid possibly in the future matches. So, this next one I didn't do anything with. I didn't build this one. I didn't even think about it, but this did definitely get me kicked on the Ultimate brand. I know it's going long. The video's almost over. Hang in there. Like I said, it's a pretty big roster. I had it originally in all pink, and then I found one in black and pink, and I realized it wasn't butterfly joints, so that got shelved and sold off. And then I found it in black and pink again with butterfly joints and a lot cleaner look. Owen Hart, the Rocket version. Now, of course, if I found a detailer who built it with the Slammy Awards and the decals, instantly I would get that. But this is a great one. Clearly they used a Bret Hart torso. They just changed the paint color scheme. They, from the looks of it, even probably painted the legs. I mean, the legs are obviously painted to match the skin tone. In fact, the whole figure, except for the arms, are painted. It's painted to match one skin tone color, and it's designed to really paint and try to match up with the Jazzwares Owen head. This is the Jazzwares Owen head. I mean, great figure. Up close, yeah, you can nitpick stuff. You can be like, the shade's a little off, this and that. But it's playable. It does have drop-down hips, although because given the paint on this one is so stringent, I make sure not to really do anything with him. So he's more or less just posing with belts or posing with wins. He's not really going to be somebody I'm going to be using around a lot because I don't know the quality of the playability in him. I didn't build him. But, I mean, he looks great. Little chip right here. I do know that when I got the Sting a long time ago, I just sent it away to my customizer to paint it because it was starting to chip away with the pink. But this one's still staying in really good shape. Still really cool to have an Owen Hart figure. Now these final two I built myself. In fact, I posted on Instagram, and this is not his final product because I'm waiting on the proper leotard to show up. I was originally going to go with the cloth leotard or singlet, if you will, and then I decided against it. I'm just going to cut a Undertaker, the rubber one, proper, and then put it on him so it's more tighter on him. What's nice about this one, though, is he helped me develop more of my skill and also to understand how to split the trunks, because at first it wasn't going to work. It was going to stick out. He was going to have basically a tinier gut compared to the bigger crotch piece. I was able to take a stone cold crotch piece, saw it in two, carefully split it in two, and then even cut down the bottom and switch the joints. They had ratchet joints. Jerry the King Lawler has ratchet joints. Austin has ratchet joints. And swap it so that way I was able to take and put his king legs on this figure. And you can see there's a little bit of bruising over here. The Austin I ended up when I didn't realize it was ratchet joints or how they come off. I ended up breaking the little parts up here on the Austin, which I glued back together, no problem. You can see the cloth singlet right now. It's actually a double singlet strap, so it's just kind of tucked away. It works really well right now, but I'm going to be fixing that up to make it authentic. Of course, I could keep it this way, and he pulls down the strap when he's ready to do the drop, whatever it is. I was really proud with this one because I was able to really go into customizing. I used a Razor Ramon torso to give him some chest hair, of course. Lawler did have some chest hair. It wasn't, probably as much as it is, but again, the shirt kind of covers it. The singlet will cover it. You won't really notice it. So it can be done. It's a lot of work. But if you want a Jerry the King Lawler Ultimate to represent your WWF brand, it can be done. I just told you the formula. And then finally, I originally was asking for this one. When I found out we didn't get this one, it got canceled. I was like, man, can we please maybe find a way to get that one released? I mean, you guys had the prototype out. How hard would it be? Well, they kind of answered that, but they did it all in the wrong format. It was all Elites. It was Elite this one, and then there's Elite Build-A-Figure of this guy, the same guy. So when I found someone who built one, originally it just had, I was like, cool, I'll buy it. And then this figure came out, and I decided, you know what? Let's get that Survivor Series head, and let's get that Legends figure, and let's build it my damn self. I was going to originally have someone do it for me, and then I decided, you know what? I'll do it. I will do it myself. Who did I build? None other than a British Bulldog. I switched the head. It's the Survivor Series Build-A-Figure head. Yeah, it's because Royal Rumble's Virgil. And I put the tassels, obviously, from the Legends. The torso was an Ultimate Warrior torso. The arms worked really well. Bulldog had, he had, he was going with the tan look here and there. Definitely was very bronzed at one point. Lots of baby oil on this man back in the 97 era, 96 era. It's just, your standard Legends Bulldog lower half, change out the torso, and I mean, you can definitely get the arm up there. You can get him, in the pose to do the running power slam. You can do the clothesline. This is a Bulldog. You can do the chin lock. This is the Bulldog right here. And very happy with how this turned out. And that will conclude my WWF roster for now. This video's gone long enough. Hopefully you've enjoyed it. If not, I'm currently no European champion. Shawn Michaels vacated the belt, so that will be up for grabs in the future when I continue to do the Fig Fed news. I can tell you, though, coming down the pipeline, there's not too many guys. Yokozuna will be added to this roster when he comes available. I thought about maybe building an Ultimate Mankind figure to hold over until the Legends of or the Monday Night Wars one comes out, and that's going to get moved to the Raw's War roster. So he might show up on this brand for a little bit. I'm always, of course, thinking and processing, but guys I'm trying to think of right now aren't really for this era. They're in an era before that. So Roddy Piper will be in this era as well. George Steele is going to the GEW, which I'm going to be doing a video on that next. In fact, I'm going to do it right now, and then hopefully you'll see it and see all the other creations I've created. Now, keep in mind that there's only been like 30-something Elites released officially. But with all these customs, including the ones I bought and the ones I'm building, I looked at my checklist. I think I was at like 142. So, look forward to seeing who else I got. Till next time.